Hadrosaurus. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Hadrosaurus was a plant eater, or herbivore. Haplocaris was a relatively small dinosaur that displayed many bird-like features, such as feathers and clawed hands. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Haplocaris was a carnivore, or meat eater. Haplocaris was a relatively small dinosaur that displayed many bird-like features, such as feathers and clawed hands. Hesperornis were birds that lived during the late Cretaceous time period. They were very unique animals because they had wings, but didn't really fly. They mostly swam underwater. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Hesperornis had teeth in their beak, which scientists believe helped them catch and eat fish. By looking at fossils of Hesperornis, scientists think they were probably most comfortable in the water because their bodies were not constructed to walk or run very well on land.
Print.
Ichthyosaurus. Because of their fish-like bodies, Ichthyosaurus almost certainly stayed in the water. But like modern whales, they still breathed air and lacked gills. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Ichthyosaurus was a carnivore whose diet was probably made up of fish and squid. Ichthyosaurus, whose name means fish lizard, was not a dinosaur but a separate group of marine vertebrates. Iguanodon. One of the first dinosaurs discovered, Iguanodon was a large dinosaur that lived in Europe during the early part of the Cretaceous time period. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Iguanodon was a large plant-eating dinosaur. Iguanodon had a beak for cropping plants, walked slowly on 4 legs or quickly on 2 legs, and its hands could be used for walking, grasping, and perhaps even piercing. Artosaurus. Artosaurus is closely related to other crested hadrosaurs like Corythosaurus and Parasaurolophus. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Like other hadrosaurs, Artosaurus ate plants. Artosaurus had a big, helmet-like crest that was probably used for showing off, making noise, and recognizing members of its own kind. Jehalornis. Jehalornis was a bird that lived in Asia during the Cretaceous time period. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Unlike birds living today, Jehalornis had teeth and may have been a seed eater. Jehalornis was a bird that lived in Asia during the Cretaceous time period. Kentrosaurus. Kentrosaurus was a relatively small armored stegosaur dinosaur from the late Jurassic time period. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Kentrosaurus was a slow-moving plant eater that was found in Africa. Kentrosaurus had a tiny brain, one of the smallest known for a dinosaur. The plates of Kentrosaurus were too small to be used for controlling body temperature. They were most likely used for display. The tail spikes could have been used as weapons against predators. Cosmiceratops. Cosmiceratops was a plant-eating ceratopsian dinosaur from the Cretaceous time period. Its name means ornamented horned face. This animal was about 2 kids tall. Like other ceratopsians, Cosmiceratops was a herbivore. Cosmiceratops was a plant-eating ceratopsian dinosaur from the Cretaceous time period. Its name means ornamented horned face.
Print.
Lambiosaurus. Lambiosaurus is a duck-billed dinosaur with a hollow head crest made of bone. The crest was probably used to make sounds for communicating with other Lambiosaurus. This animal was about 7 kids tall. This herbivore probably stood on its hind legs while reaching into the conifer trees to munch on pine cones and pine needles. Scientists think that Lambiosaurus used its crest for long-distance communication to tell how far away their fellow Lambiosaurus were.